Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Inshallah, today we're going to have our introduction to Tajweed session, and this is because already we have done this before. We have done this Tajweed kind of series before, so we're going to start from the beginning again as we promised. So we need to go through مقدمة للتجويد, which is an introduction to Tajweed, and then we will proceed inshallah from our book and the lecture notes that already you have with you. So let's start inshallah with this, with the book that I'm following, or the book that I usually considered to be our textbook, is called Ghayat في علم التجويد. It is a book authored by Sheikh Atiyah Qab al-Nasr. It is very famous this book very famous in Egypt and in many also Arab countries. And we start always with, in general, all the Tajweed books start with فضائل القرآن and أهمية تعلم القرآن, the virtues of the Quran in general and the virtues of learning the Quran, and so on and so forth. So we're going to start with the same, so that we can plant in our hearts and minds the importance of the Quran and the Tajweed as a tool for recitation of the Quran. So first of all, we'll start with فضل القرآن, فضل القرآن الكريم. That there is a hadith narrated by Imam al-Bukhari wa Muslim, من حديث Sayyida Aisha, the authority of Sayyida Aisha, reported by Sayyida Aisha. She said that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, الماهر بالقرآن مع السفرة الكرام البررة, that who is fluent in Quran is going to be resurrected in the day of judgment with السفرة الكرام البررة, with the noble emissaries, who are the angels that is considered to be the noble emissaries. وَالَّذِي يَقْرَأُ الْقُرْآنَ وَهُوَ عَلَيْهِ شَاقٌ لَهُ أَجْرَانِ. And that person who is reciting the Quran, and it is hard for him and difficult for him to recite it, وَهُوَ عَلَيْهِ شَاقٌ means that it's difficult to recite it, لَهُ أَجْرَانِ, he is going to have a double reward, not only one reward. So you should know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as you can see, is giving to that person who is putting the effort and finding the difficulties double reward, or two folds of the rewards. So we need to understand this in the first place, and after that you will find most of the people, because they are not, as I said many times, they are not having this heart oriented, or they do not have the orientation toward, in general, Akhirah and so on. So they do not think too much about the Quran. So if you look, for example, look how many times you read, for example, your textbook. I mean that in your major, whether you are chemical engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, you will have a kind of textbook which is considered to be the most important reference. Look how many times you read it, or how many times that you go to certain pages and read it, and even that you memorize it by heart, because it's your major. But when it comes to the Quran, you'll find many people, they are not having this enthusiasm, and they are not passionate for reading and recitation. This is why, because, as we said many times, because the motivation is not there. We do not have the motivation. So this would be reflected on our deeds and actions. So this is why you will find the people, they are not paying attention, or they are not having this kind of, as I said, enthusiasm to come and attend and recite and to know. They don't have. They can spend in other things. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in another hadith, in Sunan Abu Dawud من حديث أبي هريرة, he said, ما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله, that there is no group of people that is going to be gathered in a house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one house of the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يَتْلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ. They are reciting the book of Allah. وَيَتَدَارَسُونَهُ بَيْنَهُم. And they are studying it between one another or among themselves. So two things, reciting the Quran and studying the Quran. إِلَّا نَزَلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّكِينَةُ. That tranquility will be sent down upon them. وَغَشِيَتْهُمُ الرَّحْمَةُ. And they are going to be overwhelmed with the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَحَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. And the angels are going to be surrounding them. وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَنْ عِنْدِهِ. That and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would mention you, I mean your name, or the people who are gathered here in His presence, in this place, I mean in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Did you imagine one time that if you, for example, someone says to you that you are going to be in the newspaper today or tomorrow, or you are going to have, someone is going to mention your name in KBS or CNN or BBC or whatever, you are going to be very excited, right? But here, whenever we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to mention your name, or the name of the people, or the group of the people is going to be mentioned in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nobody does care about this. So again, as I said, the motivation, there is something there inside the hearts, it plays everything. So if you do not understand it, or you do not feel it, then this is the real, you are a real, I mean that you should look to yourself and try to make your compass to be on the right direction. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be among those who are showered by the blessings, mercy, tranquility of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is Fadl al-Quran. And Fadl al-Quran, you will find another many ahadith actually. You'll find the ahadith al-Bukhari and Muslim and so on. So just I mentioned the most important ahadith, two ahadith. The second point is, so this is the virtues of the Quran. The second point is أهمية تعلم القرآن. That the importance of تعلم القرآن. That Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in a hadith narrated by Al-Bukhari or Muslim من حديث عثمان ibn Affan خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. The best amongst you are those who are learning and teaching Quran. The best amongst you are those who are learning and teaching the Quran. As I said many times, for the Quran, it has speciality. It has speciality. So why Allah subhanahu, why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying this hadith that the best amongst you those who are learning and teaching Quran? In Quran, you will find, if I said to you that I'm going to give you a book, and this book, it will be very important for your life because you will find a lot of experiences in it. And whenever you read this book, you found that it's really related to you and relevant to your daily life in a way that you didn't imagine before. So you are going to take care of this book, right? The Quran, whenever you listen or recite to the Quran, you will find that in every page or in every verse in the Quran, you will find that there is something related to you, and it is something really, really penetrates your heart and go ahead to the point. And this is the miraculous word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the uniqueness of the Quran. That you will find it takes you in different journeys. If you are going to talk about dunya, so in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to talk about dunya and the importance of dunya for you as a tool for al-akhirah. If you want to talk about al-akhirah, you will find. If you want to talk about the story of the prophets, you will find it. If you want to talk about the nations before us, you will find it. If you're going to talk about the future, you will find it. So it is every experience that you could imagine is there in the Quran. So this is the book that you should always think about it in such a way. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned خَيْرُكُمْ, the best amongst you. That person who is going to learn and teach the Quran, which is already this Quran has a full dimensions of the experiences. I mean that in every dimension that you could imagine, there is something there, and you are going to learn from it. So this is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second hadith is hadith من حديث أنس بن مالك أخرجه أحمد في فضائل القرآن وصححه الشيخ الألباني. He said إن لله أهلين من الناس فقيل من أهل الله فيهم قال أهل القرآن هم أهل الله وخاصته. That indeed or verily that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a special group of people that is very near and close to Him. So they asked, whom those people? So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ahlul Quran, the people of the Quran. Hum ahlullahi wa khassatuh. They are the people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they are the special people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So this is the two hadith regarding Ahmiyat Ta'allum Al-Quran. And one thing that I want to pass here, that why we are saying this too much, so many times. I know that all of you know the importance of the Quran and know all of these ahadith. Of course, you have listened it before and you know it and you respect and you believe in it. But there is something that is very important, that we are as human beings, we need reminder. So we need these kind of things to be repeated. And we need, because every time it is going to be repeated, then the iman will flourish and will be refreshed again. This is important for us because in general we forget and we are taken by our daily life. And this is important also not only for us. It's important for other people that you are responsible for. Remember that you are not here in this class only to learn Quran and keep it for yourself. Actually, every one of us, every individual, he has a circle of influence. His colleagues, friends, family, kids, wife, parents, and so on and so forth. You have at least like 100 people around you with different relations. So if you know about these things and the importance of the Quran, you are going to pass this from one time to another. And you are going to emphasize upon the importance of the Quran. So this is very important for you. Whenever you have this hadith, I've chosen very simple ahadith. I think that the best way is to memorize this ahadith. And whenever, for example, you are in a session with your friends, or a session with your family, with your wife, parents, and so on, remember and say this, that the hadith that Uthman ibn Affan mentioned in Bukhari and Muslim, that خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. Very short hadith and very powerful one, that will bring up to the table the importance of the Quran. Now there is something that is actually really overwhelming, that whenever you look to the generation, that if you are a father and you have kids, you are going to find that the kids really, they are overtaken by many things and distracted by many things. And they are away totally from the Quran. They are away totally. And actually this is, sadly I'm saying this, but this is the reality. And do not think that you are now here, just you are having this kind of sessions, classes, and the opportunity to learn the Quran. Alhamdulillah for this. But actually you find that your kids, it might happen that they are not going to have this opportunity. And you are the only one who could deliver it. So remember that this is actually something, wallahi, we are facing now. That the kids, it's very, very difficult. I found many people, they are telling me about their kids. And this is, look how we are deviating from the right way. And we are saying that this is the right way for us. And at the end, we found the consequences there and realizing that this is not the right way. Many people, one of my friends, for example, he is sending his kid, he is a teenage in high school, to an international school. Okay. Everyone, I think that whenever you send your kid to an international school, the thing that in your mind is that he is going to have good education, and he is going to have a good English accent, and he is going to be exposed to different level of people and so on. And actually I have my personal comment on international school in general. So the point is, he was talking to me, I mean the father, he was talking to me that he found his son is losing the self-esteem as a Muslim. Losing the self-esteem as a Muslim. Because he is the only Muslim in the school, for example. And he found that it is, being only one Muslim in a school, and everything around you is not supporting your beliefs. And everything around you, actually they are dealing their life as if this is the right life. That's the main problem that we are putting our kids in. That we are detaching them from the Quran. Before, I mean that for example, in the previous generations, our fathers and forefathers and grandfathers and so on, the first thing for them is to send them, we call it to Al-Kutab. Kutab means that it's the classes at the masjid, and the sheikh is letting them recite the Quran. This is the ilm. This is the ilm. There is no science, math, and this is the ilm. Go and memorize Quran and read Quran and Arabic and so on. The vocabulary of our kids when they learning the Arabic and Quran was, according to some statistics, it's around 16,000. I mean for the 4-5 years kid, for example. But when he is using only the slangs at home, the slang of his mother and father, and the school and so on, the vocabulary is around 3,000 words. So it is less. And at the same time, the bigger problem is whenever he is exposed to an international environment, for example, he is going to lose the kind of self-esteem, as I said, as a Muslim. He is not going to take pride, not only taking pride in Islam, but he is going to have doubts in Islam. So this is, even though we from the first sight, we can say this is okay, it's something we know, importance of the Quran. But the problem is, we're emphasizing upon it here, but our kids, they are facing a different life. So we need to have this kind of importance of Quran, narrations and so on, to be in our head, and always delivered in the right time, and at the right places to the right people. And remember well, if there is no way for them to being exposed to Quran, they are losing. I mean that they are losing. So it's a reminder for me and for you and for even for our kids, inshallah, if there is a chance to deliver it to them, to emphasize on the importance of the Quran. The next point is adab qira'at al-Quran. Adab qira'at al-Quran means that the etiquette of qira'at al-Quran, recitation of the Quran. We have two different levels of the etiquette for the Quran. The first one is ma'nawi, means that non-tangible, something that is abstract. The first one is already mentioned in Surah Sad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ إِلَيْكَ لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. That it is a book that we have sent it down upon you. لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ means that to understand the verses of the Quran. وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ, and in order to be a reminder for those who have hearts or intellects. I have two comments here. The first one is related to لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ. Yadabbar in Quran means to understand. And understand means that understanding with deep insight. This is a tadabbur. We have in Arabic tadabbur and fiqh. Fiqh means to understand something. But tadabbur means that to understand with great deal of pondering and going deeper. And this is the point here. That in Quran, most of the people, we have different levels of understanding Quran. Most of the people, they do not understand, or at least they just recite the Quran. Even at the recitation level, you will find them some charm or some kind of feeling there in your heart. And this is nice. But there are higher levels. You're going to be linked with the Quran if you could go deeper in